Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at what I believe to be the most underrated update for the Season 15 balance patch, and that is the buff to Poison Fang on Shadow Golbat. Now, Shadow Golbat does run Wing Attack as the fast move, so it wasn't really affected by the Poison Fang nerf last season, as with Wing Attack, it still gets to the Fang in 10 turns. Combine that with the added damage from the Season 15 balance update, and Shadow Golbat now has a place as a nice anti-meta pick. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Shadow Golbat in action in the Open Great League. Hopping into the first match, leading Whiscash into Shadow Quagsire. Shadow Quagsire would be the better lead for this team over Whiscash. Unfortunately, I don't have a Shadow Quagsire, so I end up using Whiscash. I'm going to farm up till they reach the back-to-back Mud Bombs and then make a catch onto Pelipper. Pelipper is going to double resist the Mud Bombs. Quagsire staying in here, building up to the Stone Edge, and I'm going to respect it with a shield. Shadow Stone Edge is no joke. My opponent baits with a Mud Bomb, and now they send in Noctowl. I'm farming up, going for the Hurricane, trying to force a CMP tie, but my opponent plays well and goes for the extra energy. Hurricane is going to connect. They're going to be firing off a charge move here, and I should be able to tank this. Sky Attack will not KO. Pelipper able to hang on and make the last second Weather Ball here. Weather Ball is going to be shielded. I aggressively switch back into the Whiscash, and Whiscash will be able to absorb the energy from the Noctowl. Sky Attack is going to connect. I'm looking to overfarm with the Whiscash, going for the Blizzard and winning CMP over the Noctowl. Unfortunately, not quite Mud Bomb range, so I do have to full send the Blizzard. In the back, opponent is running Shadow Charizard. I'm farming up to the Blizzard and baiting with the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is going to get the shield. I'm not going to make it to another Blizzard, so I'm just going to go for the chip damage with the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is going to connect. Charizard is going to get the full farm down. I need a catch. Throw one, switch, and we catch the Blast Burn onto Pelipper, and now we may have a chance to win this thing. Back in comes the Shadow Golbat opponent, tries to force a CMP tie, but I'm going to go for the extra, as I'm just looking for the farm down. Blast Burn does get shielded. In comes the Shadow Quagsire. I am not going to let them get to a move. Shadow Ball KOs the Quagsire. In comes the Charizard. Oh no, Charizard made a move. Is it the Blast Burn? It is not. Just the Dragon Claw, and Shadow Golbat gets the win. Picking up an awkward lead in the next match, Whiscash into Noctowl. Whiscash, of course, does have access to Blizzard, but it takes a while to get to. Opponent is going to bank a ton of energy, send in the Azumarill. I'm going to hold on to the energy with the Whiscash, and now send in Shadow Golbat. Now, Shadow Golbat being a Poison Fang user, the goal is to ramp up the damage that the Wing Attacks can do, so having Poison Fang do extra damage itself is quite useful. Azu full sends the Hydro Pump, so they are probably running Hydro Pump and Play Rough. I farm up two back-to-back Poison Fangs. My opponent now has to double shield if they want to make a play for switch. They shield once. I'm going for the Poison Fang right away. Putting pressure on that final shield. Opponent is going to let that go and send in Noctowl. Noctowl forced to fire off a charge move here, or Golbat would make another Fang. Sky Attack is going to KO. In comes the Whiscash. I'm firing off the Blizzard on the CMP tie. Blizzard not going to KO, but it will definitely leave a mark, getting the Noctowl deep into the red. Noctowl fires off the Sky Attack into the Whiscash. Whiscash just going straight for the Mud Bomb here. I want to try and get rid of the Noctowl if I can. Mud Bomb is going to KO. In the back, it's Sableye, and I'm going to send in Pelipper. Pelipper firing off the Weather Ball here. Weather Ball will deal some solid chip damage onto the Sableye. Pelipper continuing to farm. Sableye, this is going to be tough. I'm going to call a foul play here. Foul play, not going to KO. Pelipper makes it to the Weather Ball, and Weather Ball will be grabbing the final shield. This is going to be a race. Can my Whiscash make it to a Mud Bomb before they get the double foul plays? This will be close. If they have the double here, they win, because Sableye does win CMP over Whiscash. Whiscash goes for the Mud Bomb, and unfortunately, I lose CMP, and that will be game over. Speaking of Sableye, we see it on the lead in the next match. I do want to check and see if they have any counters to flyers in the back, so I am going to save switch into Pelipper. Pelipper farming up energy. Opponent sends in Dugong. Dugong was looking for the Weather Ball catch, but instead I'm able to hold on to my energy and fire off the Hurricane. Dugong commits the shield. Dugong will be firing off the Icy Wind. This will hit for some solid neutral damage onto the Pelipper. Pelipper now very low. Pelipper with a sliver of HP able to make it to the Hurricane. This is debuffed, but it will still leave a mark. and I need that chip damage because, unfortunately, since I'm running Whiscash instead of a Shadow Quagsire, I don't have Stone Edge, so I am forced to rely on neutral damage in this matchup. I'm firing off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb not going to be enough to KO here. Dugong is extremely tanky. Dugong makes it to another Icy Wind. I'm going to no shield and go for the snipe with the Shadow Golbat. Golbat, wing attack KOs. I don't take any damage. Back in comes the Sableye. So it looks like whatever they have in back does not want to see the Shadow Golbat. So I'm going to be shielding everything here. I'm farming up. And you know what? I'm full sending. Going straight for the Shadow Ball. Do they respect it? They do not. In the back, it's Cradilly. And this is another matchup where having the boosted damage from the Poison Fang will be clutch. Poison Fang connects. Now, they are in the yellow health already, firing off a Rock Slide, but it's just going to be too little too late here as I make another Poison Fang, keeping the pressure on the Cradilly. Opponent recognizes that it's over, no shields the Cradilly, and that's a good game. Picking up a fairly neutral lead in the next match, Whiscash into Dubwool. I'm going to stay in this matchup, wait for them to throw some energy, bank all the energy that I've farmed up, and then safe switch into Pelipper. They're firing off a charge move here. Opponent is going to full send the payback, and now I send in Pelipper. Pelipper should be able to tank a body slam no problem, so I am gonna no shield. But it's a double nuke Dubwool. I get fully one shot, and I am in absolute shambles. I send in Shadow Golbat. Opponent now gonna send in Shadow Sableye. I'm ahead on energy. I decide to go for the bait here. I need to try and generate some kind of advantage, and my opponent calls it. This is absolutely awful, and to add insult to injury, I accidentally overfarm and play into the CMP tie on the Power Gem. Things just going from bad to worse here. This Poison Fang is going to connect. I will get the farm down of the Sableye. Opponent, we have seen the Dubwool. We still don't even know what their third Pokemon is. They're going to send in the Dubwool. Dubwool will be hit with the Poison Fang. Poison Fang, thanks to that boosted damage, will actually add up on the Dubwool, so my opponent is going to commit the shield. I know they only have nukes, so I'm going to shield. They go for the payback. In the back, wait. They have Toxapex. This game might actually be winnable. I have so much energy on my Whiscash. I'm firing off the Mud Bomb here. Mud Bomb is going to be getting them low. I should be able to throw one more and win the CMP tie as they make it to the brine. This will KO unless they shield. Opponent is going to let that through. I'm farming up with the Whiscash and going for the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb should be grabbing that final shield, and it does. Whiscash continues to farm. Dubwool needs the back-to-back wild charges, and they cannot get there. The Mud Bomb gets them low. We snipe with the Golbat, and against all odds, we get the win. Tough lead in the next match, Whiscash into Defense Deoxys. Honestly, Defense Deoxys is a bit of a problem spot for this entire team, as it just has a lot of neutral play into everything. They're going to fire off the Psycho Boost save switch into Umbreon, and Umbreon is another Pokemon that is a bit uncomfortable to deal with. I'm going to fire off the Mud Bomb just to get some chip damage. My opponent actually gives up a shield, which is quite nice. They were anticipating a potential Blizzard. I'm going to take the foul play, and then just send in Pelipper. Pelipper does not have a winning matchup here, but my hope is just to get this Umbreon as low as possible, and then get an energy lead on the Shadow Golbat, and hope that Shadow Golbat with an energy lead and shield advantage can sweep in the endgame. I'm firing off the Hurricane here. Opponent is going to let that through, and they're going to fire off another foul play. Foul play will not KO. Pelipper will be able to hang on. Unfortunately, I cannot make the Hurricane before they make their next foul play, so I'm just going to settle for the Weather Ball. Weather Ball will not KO, but again, I'm not really too worried about Switch. Umbreon is a team effort, so I'm just going to let the Pelipper go and just choose to get an energy lead on the Shadow Golbat. In the back, opponent has Shadow Quagsire, and this game looks very winnable for a Shadow Golbat of shields and energy. I fire off the Shadow Ball. It connects, getting the Quagsire deep into the red. I'm going to shield the Stone Edge. They will not make another move, so they are going to be sending back in the Defense Deoxys. Deoxys farming up a ton of energy. I'm going for a bait here. This is a bit risky, but I need to be able to outpace. Poison Fang gets the shield. Golbat wins CMP with the Shadow Ball as they make the double Psycho Boost. Shadow Ball, goodbye Deoxys. Quagsire cannot make a move. And that is a good game. We've got a battle of Mud Boys in the next match, Whiscash into Quagsire. As I mentioned, I would prefer to run a Shadow Quagsire on the lead with this team, but unfortunately, I do not have one, so I am running the Whiscash. I'm firing off the Mud Bomb. I should have gone for the catch as they reached the back-to-back, but unfortunately, I did not go for it, and they're going to fire off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is going to connect. I'm firing off a Mud Bomb of my own here. This Mud Bomb is not going to KO, but it will get them deep into yellow. They're firing off another Mud Bomb. At this point, I'm just going to farm up till my own Mud Bomb and go for a catch onto Pelipper, which I do get. So didn't get the catch the first time, but second time's the charm, able to make that happen. My opponent now sends in a Lantern. You've got to be kidding me. I missed Trevenant already. Opponent running ABA water types with Lantern and with Quagsire. If they see a grass type on the lead, they just lose. But unfortunately, there are no grass types on my team, so I am the one who's going to lose. I can win the CMP tie with the Whiscash here, firing off the Mud Bomb, but my opponent recognizes that I'm weak. They're going to shield. They just have way too much energy here. Surf is going to KO the Whiscash, and I resign the match. Picking up a tough lead in the next match, Whiscash into Azumarill. Not the most comfortable matchup, so I am going to be safe switching into the Pelipper to check for any anti-flyers. Azu gonna stay in this matchup and fire off the Ice Beam. Ice Beam only gonna hit for neutral, so I am gonna let that through. Ice Beam connects. I'm now going for the Hurricane. If they're gonna stay in, I'm looking to get some chip damage here. Hurricane is gonna connect onto the Azu. Azu banks some energy and sends in Sableye. Here, I decide to full send the Hurricane, hoping my opponent decides to call the bait. It's safer to go for the Weather Ball, and that's exactly why. As since I full sent, my opponent gives up a shield, and they leave absolutely loaded on energy with the Sableye. The one good thing is that Whiscash is extremely bulky, so I'm able to tank multiple foul plays here, not have to shield, and I'm just going to fire off Mud Bombs to try and get the Sableye into a range where my Golbat can get rid of it. So I'm going to be firing off the Mud Bomb here. Mud Bomb is going to get them into the red health. Sableye firing off the foul play immediately. I'm just going to let this go and trust in 2-shield Shadow Golbat. Golbat looking for the farm down. Sableye cannot make the move. They send in Azu. Azu, unfortunately, I overfarm a bit too much and let them reach an Ice Beam. That was a misplay, but I'm going to make up for it. I go for the Poison Fang. I'm going to zero bubble here, doing as little damage as possible, but with the debuff, Golbat is going to get the full wing attack farm down, and I leave with so much loaded energy. What do they have in the back? I know the Sableye is 1 HP, and it's Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak about to have a terrible day. They commit the shield on the Shadow Ball, but there's more where that came from. Shadow Golbat, Shadow Ball number 2. Get that Marowak out of here, and that's a good game. We see a familiar lead return in the next match, Whiscash into Deoxys. As I mentioned before, this is not the most comfortable lead. Opponent safe switches into Lickitung, and this is a core breaker as well. I try and go for the Power Whip catch onto Golbat, but my opponent shows great patience, hanging on to their energy, and now I'm in a very uncomfortable position here, as Lickitung is just an absolute menace to society when there's not a Noctowl, and unfortunately, I do not have a Noctowl to punish the switch in. They're firing off Body Slam number 2, that's going to get the Golbat low. Golbat will be able to make the Poison Fang. The nice thing is Golbat will get the Lickitung quite low, but that does come at the cost of switch advantage. They are going to get the farm down. I can send in Pelipper, looking for a farm down of my own, but I don't get it. Lickitung able to make it to the charge move. They fire off the Power Whip, and now that I've lost switch, odds are they're probably sending in Deoxys, the Thunderbolt user, into the Pelipper. My opponent is going to send in the Deoxys. I'm farming up with the Pelipper and going for the Hurricane right away. I'm just needing damage onto the Deoxys, hopefully put it close to Mud Bomb range. I send in the Whiscash. In the back, they have Dewgong, and in the 2-shield, I just get absolutely crushed here. Another situation where Quagsire and Stone Edge would be better, and unfortunately, I concede the match. Hopping into the final match, picking up a tough lead, Whiscash into Shadow Jumpluff. I save switch into Pelipper, and my opponent is going to respond with a Shadow Wall Rain. I do tank an Icicle Spear, so I am going to no-shield here, overfarm quite a bit, and then I am going to go for the Weather Ball bait. I've been the Wall Rain in this situation. It's very uncomfortable to call the bait, and my opponent will commit the shield. They will fire off the last second Icicle Spear to deny my Hurricane, but I want both shields. If I can get both shields, then there's nothing stopping me from getting to Blizzard that Jumpluff. Hurricane will get the final shield. They get the farm down, but now it's my turn to get some farm. I'm sending in the Whiscash here. I'm looking to overfarm quite a bit, and then I can Mud Bomb to get rid of the Wall Rain, and then Blizzard the Jumpluff. I'm farming up. Opponent looks to catch the Mud Bomb onto the Jumpluff, but instead, they catch a Blizzard to the face. They get one shot, in comes the Wall Rain, and I'm firing off the Mud Bomb here, looking to get rid of the Shadow Wall Rain. Mud Bomb is going to KO in the back. They have Galarian Stunfisk. So the opponent, unfortunately, very strong to my Golbat in the back. But the good news is, I still have the Whiscash, and Whiscash is about to close out this game. I'm able to make it to the back-to-back Mud Bombs here as Rock Slide will not KO. Mud Bomb number 1 and Mud Bomb number 2. This will be getting them deep into the red. Stunfisk with 1 HP, able to hang on. Golbat gets the KO with the wing attack, and that's game over. All in all, I do think that the damage buff to Poison Fang is a really nice addition to Shadow Golbat. Shadow Golbat is still an anti-meta pick at best, but I do think it has some play compared to what it used to, and on top of that, I think it's going to be an absolute menace in limited metas going forward. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.